Well, howdy doody, YouTube. I'm feeling a little VR chatty today. And today we're having a very special video. What's the video about? Well, it's about my pet peeves and what they have to do with Touhou. Now, I don't have many pet peeves with Touhou itself, other than, well, the fact that Zune tends to neglect characters way more than he should. But what I do have an issue with is the fandom. Now, a lot of the fans are great. A lot of the fans are my subscribers, actually. But there are a few who seem to worship Touhou in an almost fanatic sense. Like, I get it. You like your favorite waifus, you like your Touhou, you're like, oh yes, these are my favorite characters. But there comes a line that you have to draw eventually in regards to the Touhou characters. And that line is, they're not the strongest characters out there. At all. I've done polls where I put Yomu versus Zoro, and they're like, yes, Yomu wins. No. This is not even a bias. Zoro wins. If you've ever seen One Piece, you know that Zoro wins. Hands down. Another, Flandre versus Beerus. Beerus wins. Yet Flandre won that poll through, I guess, popularity. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on Touhou. I love it. But this is one of my biggest pet peeves, where people do not look at it objectively. I'm not talking about all the power scaling nonsense where it's like, oh yes, they did this thing with their hoodly doodly boo, and that's how they did their boodly dong. No, I'm talking about looking at it objectively and realizing, I wonder, maybe, just maybe, perhaps, not actually necessarily per se, I'm being a little biased towards the Touhou characters, right? Yes, maybe you are. So, instead of being biased, maybe just accept that maybe they're not the strongest out there. Now, I'm not saying they're weak. Oh, hell no. Some of the characters, Acacia, for example, are remarkably powerful. Acacia could fight a god of destruction easily. Easily. Like, no contest. But the fact that you're saying the lower level characters are like Dragon Ball level, I'm going to be honest with you. They're not even One Piece level, some of them. Are they? What do I see the Touhou characters as equal to most of the time? Well, I see them actually relatively equal to Fate. And I know a lot of you guys overlap with Fate, and so you probably agree with me. Like, yeah, the Touhou characters are a pretty good match for Fate. And you know what else? They're also a good match for Naruto. They're all in that same early Saiyan Saga level, not counting Gilgamesh because he's built differently. But, I think that's a good place for the majority of Touhou. So, next time I do a poll, maybe before you think, oh, Touhou character wins because Touhou, maybe you should think, wait a minute. No. Let me look at this objectively and not think with my biased fan brain. That's stupid. Now, that is my first pet peeve, and it's arguably my biggest one because it just gets so stupidly annoying. Like, okay, I should really get off this topic before I beat it into the ground, but yeah, all I'm saying is be a little more objective. Maybe think a little before you just click the Touhou button and go, oh yes, they do win. They'll win their fight battles, all right. But that's just not how it goes. So, now, my second pet peeve, which is again fandom related. Here's my second pet peeve. Are you ready? The inner fandom rivalry when it comes to people judging you for not playing the games or for playing the games. I know it doesn't make sense, but hear me out. There are people out there who like, oh, you've only played the fan games or you've only read the manga, then you're not a real Touhou fan. And this is egregious because I like to pride the Touhou fandom on being one of the most open-minded fandoms out there. But there are people who are like, yeah, no, you're this bad, you should not do this thing, and you need to play the games to become a true fan. And it's just bad. And of course there's people like, oh, you're playing a game, so you think you're superior to me. But you're not. Both the sides are stupid, I hate it. I've seen it. It's not like fucking everywhere. It's not like overbearing. But it's noticeable enough that I have to bring it up. Like, oh, geez. Now, for the third and final pet peeve, You sure you guys are ready to hear it? Hmm? You sure you're ready to hear it? Do you want to hear the pet peeve to end all pet peeves? Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you the pet peeve right now. And that is the fact that you're not hitting that like button. Ho ho ho! YouTube. Goodbye.